37 says, "But the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." So there's a lot to unpack from that one little verse. The meek inheriting the earth. So the meek, a lot of times people think the meek means the weak, the victims. The victims will inherit the earth. That doesn't make sense, does it? The weak inheriting the earth. The meek, if you look at the Hebrew, it means the peaceful. It means also the saintly. In magic, we would call that the adept. The adepts or the magi will inherit the earth. Now, how is it that the magi or the adepts will inherit the earth? The adepts are going to take the place over because we're more powerful than everybody else. Because once we get our thoughts peaceful enough, nothing can break through that peace. Once our thoughts are peaceful enough, there is nothing that can thwart that peace that will simply take over the entirety of this world. So it's a prediction, but it's not a prediction in time. That's how our mind works. And peace is that which underlies everything in our minds. We talk about that a lot. If you relax and you let go, you can kind of relax out of almost anything. But you're never going to relax out of peace, because peace is what underlies it all. Once you're in that peaceful state, then there's nowhere else to go. It means that you've added nothing to yourself, because peace is who you are at your core. Then your mind is optimal. It's functioning at its optimum. And therefore, all manifestations are strong, and nothing can stand in your way. This world teaches us something very different. This world teaches us that if we're perceiving danger, that we need to fight back, we need to retaliate, we need to defend. And this world is very convincing about that. But nobody ever questions the fact that the world has taught us that for millions of years, and it hasn't seemed to work yet. Nobody's really ever given peace a chance. To quote John Lennon, give peace a chance. Nobody's given peace a chance. Because it's fine in theory, but when it comes down to it, you're always ready to attack. You're always ready to retaliate. But the magi, the adepts, know that we must discipline the mind. We must discipline ourselves to respond to the world with peace. Because if we respond to the world with peace, then we are responding to the world as our true selves. And if we're responding to the world as our true selves, then we are responding with ultimate power. And nothing can stand in our way, and nothing can thwart us. So when we have these experiences in the world that seem so big, wars and dictators and things like that, where it just seems so big and that we don't have any way to really protect ourselves, the first thing that you see people doing in the craft community, and it makes sense, is we need to have a massive spell to throw at the problem. We're going to throw a bunch of magic at the problem, and that's going to fix it. And it's never really worked before. I mean, you see that a lot where people, we're going to have this massive meditation for peace, or we're going to have this massive spell for peace. And they throw all this energy at the situation, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't really do anything other than get people feeling like they had some power in the moment. But there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that you can do. Darkness cannot fight darkness. You can't fight an illusion with another illusion. That's where that quote from the Psalms comes in so handy. Because wait a minute, the meek will inherit the earth. That means when I inherit the earth, it means I inherit any circumstance, any physical circumstance, any manifest situation. I can inherit that. It can be mine if I but find peace. If peace is truly my goal, and that is my first goal, and that's my goal, that's what I want. If that really is all that I want, then that's all I'm going to find. And if that's all I find, then I've found the truth. And nothing can stand in my way. So when we're looking at trying to have a response to war, the only thing we can do is to look into ourselves and find where is it that we're contributing to war. Where in our own mind are we dedicated to anything else but peace? Are we dedicated to our possessions more than peace? Are we dedicated to our ideas more than peace? Are we dedicated to being right more than peace? What are we dedicated to? What are we worshiping? Giving something importance and working for it is how you worship it. So if you're worshiping money, if you're worshiping arguments, if you're worshiping power struggles, if you're worshiping climbing up a particular ladder in your job, and those are the things that you are valuing, then peace isn't your first goal. Because if peace is your first goal, remember, peace has everything with it. It's a package deal. So if we're going for peace, we're not just going for the lack of problems. We're not just going for the lack of tension. We're not just going for the lack of conflict. Peace isn't a not. Peace isn't an absence of something. Peace is the reality of something. Peace is your reality. So when you're going for peace, you're going for a package deal. Everything that is necessary for the maintenance of that peace is included. And peace includes your joy. It includes your happiness. It includes your peace of mind as well as your peace of body. It includes all the things that you need to make you happy. And so when you're going for peace as your primary goal, not only does it serve you and make you a happier person, but it is the way that you can respond to these big world events. You see, you have more power than you think you do. We think we need to band together and throw energy at a situation. It doesn't do anything. I don't care what anybody said. It doesn't do anything. You band together and throw energy at a situation. What does that do? It's playing within the realm of an illusion. You're all going to hallucinate another thing together. Yay. What does that do for you? But if you band together and you find your common peace, that's different. It's very different. So if you want to do something, if you really want to do something to create world peace, you create world peace within ourselves. That's what we do. We create world peace within ourselves, and we dedicate our day to peace. We dedicate each encounter to peace. And that's why sometimes wars are a very bizarre blessing, because we take things for granted until it looks like that we won't have it anymore. Once we are confronted with the possibility that this could be it, maybe we're going to be annihilated by a nuclear weapon. Maybe something really bad is finally going to happen. Well, it has its own bizarre little blessing in it. It's not necessary to have that, but, whatever it takes to finally say, wow, how dedicated to peace am I? Because when we have problems in the world, the first thing that most anybody does is talk about how bad they are, whoever they are. Look how bad they are. If it wasn't for them, everything would be better. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have these problems. Why are they so bad? And that's a huge distraction, isn't it? Because there's nothing you can do about them. But we don't ever take into account how much have I been really dedicated to peace so far in my life? How much has that really been my goal? And am I willing for that to be my goal now? Am I willing for the universe to send to me people and situations that need me and that need my peace? Right? So maybe if infinite intelligence is smarter than me, maybe there is a plan. Maybe I can be of help. Maybe I can be of service. Maybe I can be truly helpful in this world. And if so, maybe if I'm willing to do that, then I can just assume that whatever crosses my path they're sent to me so that I can do my part. And if it's my part, and I'm asking, what's the peaceful response here? Then I'm doing something that makes a real difference in the whole world. But if I'm sitting around going, oh, they're so horrible. Oh, hell in a handbasket. That's where we are. And if it wasn't for them, everything would be better. And oh, look at how bad they are. And oh, maybe we should band together and throw some energy at this situation. That's a very different that's a very different response than really taking stock of like, whoa, I'm powerful. I'm majorly powerful. How am I using my power? How peaceful am I today? And if it's not that peaceful, then do I really have any room to say it's them? It's them. Because that's how the ego is. The ego loves to distract us. Oh, well, who am I? I'm just this insignificant person. How can my thoughts make any difference? I don't have the nuclear codes. I'm not a politician. I don't have any worldly power. It's them. How could I have anything to do with it? I'm just an innocent bystander. And that's how the ego wants you to believe it. But don't buy it. You have supreme power in any situation if you choose to see it that way, and if you choose to accept it. So are you going to be an adept? Are you going to be one of the meek? Or are you going to just be one of the unpeaceful, non-peaceful masses that just sits in the illusion and churns more and more and more into the illusion? I'm not suggesting that anybody's personally responsible for any warring experience that's going on in the world, but I am suggesting that we have a lot more power than we want to accept. And our power lies in what's in front of us, and our power lies in who the universe sends our way and what the universe sends our way. And how we respond to that is our little part of the garden. And if our side of the street is clean, then we're going to get a bigger chunk, and then a bigger chunk, and then a bigger chunk. And we're going to take it as it comes. And yes, we will inherit this earth. But we inherit the earth because it's our birthright. But the only way we can accept our birthright is by accepting ourselves as we were created. And we were created as peaceful beings. We were created out of peace and through peace. This world is not a peaceful place, but it can be. And that's something that we can decide each and every day. Now, it's not up to us to make sure that everybody else is taken care of, but it is up to us to do what is in front of us to do and respond in our most disciplined manner as adepts to any situation that comes before us in a peaceful way. So when it says that the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in an abundance of peace. An abundance of peace is who you are. Delighting in who you are. That's what we're here to do. Now, the only way to delight in who you are is to give. That's the only way to have anything, is to give it. You cannot possess anything unless you give. That's the secret to all magic. In this world, all receiving is preceded by giving. So what are you giving? What are you giving with your mind? How are you considering people that you think about that cross your mind? That's what you're giving. And again, it's not to feel guilty about. We've all been trained to be servants of war here. We've all been trained to be diligent workers of war here. That's how the world trains us. And it, like I said, it's very insidious. And it trains us in really weird ways that we are completely distracted from the truth at all times. But we don't have to be. So if you're going to delight yourselves in an abundance of peace, the only way to do that is by giving it. The only way to have anything is to give it. So, and you give in your mind. Who deserves your forgiveness? And who do you feel doesn't deserve your forgiveness? Who do you feel is worthy of grace? And who do you feel is not worthy of grace? And where do you come by the power of perception to know? Who gave you that power of perception to know who's deserving of grace and who isn't deserving of grace? Because in our world, we think, well, if they behave in an extremely bad way, then they don't deserve anything but punishment. But if they behave in a way that I think is really good, then they deserve all the peace and they deserve my blessing. So, but doesn't it make more sense that the people who are behaving the worst are the ones that are in the most need for your grace, for your forgiveness, for your love? We have this bizarre perception that there's some people that are purely evil, and then there's the rest of us. But the only thing there is in this world is truth and illusion. And illusion doesn't really exist. And the illusion that somebody is not peaceful comes from diseased thinking. Comes from diseased thinking. People who are acting out, and that includes all of us to some degree, are acting out based on pain, based on disease, based on error. Think in terms of injury. Say somebody's really skinned their knee really badly. Do you look at that and you say, "Ah, how horrible you are. How could you even have that skinned knee? And you know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to skin the other one. How dare you skin your knee?" You would never think like that. But that's how we think in terms of people who act out with so much cruelty. We think, they're so horrible, and now I want to punish them. I want to hurt them even more. When in reality, what they need is love. They need forgiveness. They need healing. Now, this is all something we do in our minds. We're not condoning bad behavior. We're not condoning war. We're not condoning any of that. But we're understanding that it's a disease. And that what we're here to do as the meek that will inherit the earth, as the adepts, is training ourselves that we are here to forgive. We are here to give grace, not because it's going to make things worse, but because it's going to heal. It's going to make things better. If one person on this earth was really able to clear their mind of all misperceptions, the whole thing would disappear as we understand it. It only takes one because all minds are joined. So if you want to do your part, you do your part by disciplining your mind. And the way we discipline our mind is we see what's in front of us, and it's either something that is beautiful and peaceful or something that is hurt and diseased and needs our love. Love is the only answer. I know that sounds so trite, but love really is the only answer to any question, no matter what it is. And you know that this is true because when love is withheld, the problems always perpetuate. And when love is truly and freely given, it always heals. It always heals. So you're not here to be victimized by this world. You were sent to this world to be a healer. You were sent to this world to be peaceful. You were sent to this world to be like the white blood cells. That white blood cell doesn't worry about the whole organism. That white blood cell just takes and deals with the disease that's right in front of it. And so whatever's sent to you, whoever's sent to you, whatever you come into contact with, you're only there to love it. You're only there to heal and bless it. And your healing and blessing it is not so that you can be victimized by it. It's so that you can be freed from it. And the whole world can be freed from it. That's what you can do, though. That's what you can do. You have so much power right now. You have so much power. Not by sitting around and talking about how horrible everything is, but by looking at what's right in front of you and saying, what can I do to help? And then rather than choose yourself what you think you should do to help, you ask. You ask that internal guidance that is always available to you. How do I see this? How do I respond to this? How am I best used as a true instrument of peace? So when things start to get really scary in the world, your response isn't to get more scared. It's to get more loving, is to be ready, is to stand up straight, call on that inner guidance and say, I'm here to help. Send me where you need me to go. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to do. I'm here. I'm ready. Use me. I'm an instrument for peace. I'm an instrument for healing. I am an adept. That's what I am. You shape me. You mold me. You show me. That's our response. Not, oh, how horrible. Let's all band together and throw energy at it. When you're in a state, I always say this not only with worldly things, but in personal things too. When you're in a state of fear and upset, It's not the time to burn the candles. It's not the time to raise the energy. It's not the time to be building thought forms. You want to wait to build the thought forms and burn the candles and throw the energy for after you have focused and cleared your mind and you're thinking sanely. We don't want to be throwing thought forms of insanity, because that's not going to help anything. So we want to calm our minds. We want to ground and center to purify ourselves for a moment and find that moment of clarity, just a brief moment of clarity, and then ask, where do I go? What do I do? What do I say? And then you discipline yourself to have that be your constant mental posture at every turn when things are crossing your path. Because our world has trained us to respond. You have to know everything. You have to know. You react. We're going to do things like a magus. We're going to do things like an adept. Instead of reacting, we're going to say, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this thing is. But I do have absolute connection to infinite intelligence that does know what this thing means, that does know what this thing is, and does know what my response needs to be and why it was sent to me and how I can best be of service to infinite spirit right here, right now. That's your power. That's your power, is the power of an adept. And that's how you, as an adept, will inherit the earth. And that's how you have the ability to have delight in an abundance of peace. That's who you are and why you're here. So the earth is yours. Get ready to inherit it and delight in an abundance of peace. And the way you do that is by being committed to that peace first and foremost in each and every moment, each and every situation, no matter what. You fall off the wagon, who cares? You get right back on again. Every moment you have the ability to start again. So it's a scary world. I understand that. It's built to be scary. It's going to get scarier for a lot of people, but it doesn't need to be so for you, because what you have is constant connection to infinite intelligence. And if you can stay in the moment and learn to ask and not keep making up decisions by yourself, asking each and every step of the way, allowing yourself to be guided, you will inherit this earth with peace. Thanks for spending a little time with me. I appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.